Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Sunday morning worship service at DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Carl Nash, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. Unitarian Universalism is a faith tradition committed to creating a just and flourishing world for all people. Our Universalist theology tells us that every person is worthy of love. Thus, when we say, whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. This is our message of love to you, inviting your whole self into the space to help us co-create a world centered on our values. We invite you to learn more about us and consider joining this community to enact our values of equity, justice, transformation, pluralism, independence, and generosity. If you would like to explore ways to connect and get involved, please stop by the newcomer welcome after the service in the lower annex or contact Tina Lewis, Director of Membership and Engagement. We have one special announcement. At 11:15, we have a face-to-face discussion. If you would like to get to know other people in the congregation better, for 15-minute discussion, and then you move to the next person for 15 minutes. You can have thoughtful conversations provided to help spark meaningful connections. You also may just talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's a wonderful way to deepen relationships and strengthen our community. So in this room at 11:15, stop on by. Now, if you are online, I invite you to greet each other through the chat. And if you are present here, I invite you to turn to someone you did not come with and greet them with a wave and a good morning greeting.
Good morning. As we light the chalice, I'll read a wild and holy vision. We light our chalice in the spirit of transformation. Nothing stays the same. Everything moving, shifting, and changing. Guide us all to the wild and holy vision of our shared humanity. Thank you.
And now we'll join in a call to worship called Love Invites Us by Anastasia Birosh. We come together to lament with, celebrate with, and care for one another in our community and in our world. Because we want to be here with one another, love is not only at the center, but also the opening that invites us to lament, celebrate, and care. Love invites us to honor our interdependence with all beings in the web of existence. And when I raise my hands, I want you to say, love invites us. Ready? Love invites us. To envision a world where all are free from exploitation and the smallest to the largest are protected and nurtured with care and respect. Love invites us. To revel in our uniqueness using pluralism as our guide. To recognize all beings as sacred and celebrated, our differences are appreciated and valued, and all are equally sacred, regardless of culture, theology, and experience. To counter all forms of oppression with justice. To dismantle all forms of racism and systemic oppression. All people are worthy of thriving. To participate in individual and collective transformation, to cultivate change so we may grow spiritually and ethically. We know that we're perfectly imperfect and never finished growing. To connect by opening our hearts to generosity. To willingly and thoughtfully share our time, talent, and treasure. Our generosity connects us in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. To create inclusive, equitable communities. To know in our hearts that all people are inherently worthy and have the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. To worship together. Amen. All right, everyone, we get to rise in body or spirit and work on singing. Now, sometimes the world is hard, amen? Amen? So sometimes we have to lean on each other and find ways to know joy and peace and love and hope and all those good things in community together. And sometimes the world around us will not give it to us, so we have to claim it for ourselves this morning. This is This Joy from Shirley Caesar. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Maybe it didn't today. This joy, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, the world didn't give it, and the world, it won't take it away. Strength. Yes, we have strength. And it comes from community. And it comes from within. Oh, there's strength. Yes, there's strength. I'm gonna claim it. The world didn't give it. The world can't take it away. Heck no. All right, the love. This love that I have. Turn to your neighbor and say. Turn to your neighbor and say. Turn to your neighbor. Look around at the love. Look around at the love. One more time. The world didn't give it. Oh, we got joy. The world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have. The world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it. The world can take it away. Blessed be.
The mission statement of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church reminds us of who we have agreed to be, who we are. Please join me in reading our mission statement. We gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world toward fairness, love, and compassion. The vision statement of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church is our dream, who we wish to become. Please join me in reading our vision statement. We strive to boldly enact our values toward a just world as we nurture our growth to become a more inclusive and deeply connected intergenerational community. Our vision of beloved community is rooted in the relationships we have with each other, our world, and creation. Each week we share our joys and concerns. Even when the cares of the world weigh on us, may we find joy in our connections with each other and in the pleasure that life holds. Let us care for one another and for ourselves in all the ways that we can. And as we hold each other in our hearts and minds, with all our joys and all our sorrows, whether spoken or unspoken, let us join together in a moment of meditative prayer.
Will you please join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of love that moves in and through all things, let us claim your presence among us today. Whether through a network of hands and hearts that's greater than the sum of its parts, or through the witness of care and compassion from a fellow congregant, friend, or loved one. Or perhaps known through absence, through the heart's yearning towards love and connection. May all those who feel alone feel connected to this place and these people in this sacred time. Spirit of love, the world can be so hard. Be with us as we carry ourselves through, tenderly through acts of compassion, transforming our lives so that all may be free. Blessed be. Salam, shalom, and amen. I have the opportunity to share one of my favorite stories with you all. And so I would like to invite whoever's young or young at heart to come forward, but also the pictures are on the slide. So if you feel more comfortable snuggled up next to someone or with a little more space, feel free to stay where you are. Prison Ministry of Illinois, and a lot of the work that we do is listening. and being compassionate with one another. So I want to share this story with you. It's one of my favorites, and it's about Taylor. One day, Taylor decided to build something new, something special, something amazing. Taylor was so proud. Can you imagine how long it would take to make that? I would be proud too. But then, out of nowhere, things came crashing down. I hate it when that happens. The chicken was the first to notice. I need some chicken sounds. Come on. Very good. Cluck, cluck, cluck. What a shame. I'm so sorry this happened. Let's talk about it. Cluck, 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 cluck. But Taylor didn't feel like talking, so the chicken left. Next came the bear. Come on. Yeah, stomping feet too. How horrible. I bet you feel so angry. Let's shout about it. But Taylor didn't feel like shouting, so the bear left. The elephant knew just what to do. Elephant sounds? Fabulous. I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly the way things were. But Taylor didn't feel like remembering, so the elephant also left. One by one, they came. The hyena, let's laugh about it. The ostrich, let's hide and pretend nothing happened. The kangaroo, what a mess, let's throw it all away. And the snake, shh, let's go down and knock someone else's. But Taylor didn't feel like doing anything with anybody. So eventually they all left, and Taylor was alone. In the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit, but it moved closer and closer until Taylor could feel its warm body. Together they sat in silence until Taylor said, "Please stay with me." The rabbit listened. The rabbit listened as Taylor talked. The rabbit listened as Taylor shouted. The rabbit listened as Taylor remembered and laughed. The rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to hide, to throw everything away, to ruin things for someone else. Through it all, the rabbit never left. And when the time was right, the rabbit listened to Taylor's plan to build again. "I can't wait," Taylor said. "It's going to be amazing." Now, I wondered with this story, who might you be in the story? Have you ever felt like Taylor? Maybe. Sometimes. I know I've had big plans and awesome things happen, and then everything just came crashing down. But also the other animals too. How many of you have been like the rabbit? I actually know some rabbits here in this congregation. How many of you have been like the rabbit and sat with a little bit? So my hope is that we try to find ourselves again and again in these stories and know that there are people, and that part of being in a covenanted community like this one is finding ways to be rabbits to one another and to channel a larger love that holds us all. and answering the call to love, however it comes. With that, we're going to sing our children and youth to their religious classes, and we'll join in singing. Oh, you stay here today? That's a real treat. Oh, you stay here until when? Until the end of the service. Oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. Oh, goody. Okay, so we're not singing you out. You're staying here. Oh, we get to sing to you. See, thank you so much, dear rabbits. I'm learning all about you. All right, so we're still all going to sing together. With love, we're glad you're here today to learn of love and peaceful ways, to grow in spirit, heart, and mind, and be a light to humankind. This chance to share and meet. Let's share some stories, you and me.
Maya Angelou wrote, "Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer. And let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good." The giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts we are given by this community and how we live our values in the world. Each Sunday, we offer our financial gifts to both this congregation and to an organization that gives life to these values and makes a difference in the world. In July, our special offering benefits the UU Prison Ministry of Illinois. UUPMI fosters connections between UU congregations and those that are incarcerated in Illinois prisons. This group offers in-prison worship services, covenant groups, pen pal groups, and other programs inside prisons to those individuals who may find themselves in one of the hardest times of their lives. This work affirms the inherent worth and dignity of these individuals, as well as fostering their own free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Additionally, UUPMI advocates for policy changes that seek to improve the quality of life for those incarcerated both during and after their time in prison. As we pass our offering plate, know that it is a vessel that connects us to each other through our gratitude and generosity. So give freely of your thankfulness and abundance that our values can forever take hold in this world. Today's reading is by Patrice Lumumba Daniels. Patrice Lumumba Daniels is an incarcerated activist, writer, and poet serving a life sentence without possibility of parole. He is currently caged at the Dixon Correctional Center. Patrice serves on the advisory council of the UU Prison Ministry of Illinois and is a participant in the Pen Pal program. The title is Ahimsa, No Violence. I will take a risk and try to fall in love with me, ignoring the ancient negative narrative that I've allowed to constantly plague me. I will try to take a step back and allow others their journey. I admittedly do no one a favor, myself included, playing Mr. Fix-It. It's okay that I'm afraid. Violence need not be my response. I can peacefully coexist with all of the intricacies and complexities of life. It's about living in the now, fully accepting what I can and cannot control. Be kinder, less judgmental, more patient, more honest, and more merciful toward myself. Out of my inner identity and sense of self flows my external experience and interplay with all I encounter. Do unto self as I would do unto others. Truly be the change in world I want to see.
It's a beautiful poem, especially considering the context in which it was written. Patrice Lumumba Daniels has been caged since he was a youth. He has known little other experience except for confinement. And yet that inner yearning to freedom, to self-love, and to compassion is there. And truly visiting with Patrice, as I know Pat and Doug Coker-Cowan have visited with Patrice, visiting with him is like almost sitting down with a monk and soaking in wisdom. And in my experience, when I sit with him, I'm invited to be my best self. And he's also reinforced through his visit to be his best self, so that our time together, our relationship, is a mutually transforming experience. And sometimes we sit in quiet, and sometimes we have lots to talk about, sometimes we make plans, sometimes we get angry about the world, but through it all, it is an experience of deep privilege and compassion to sit with him. Compassionate theology. This is a Unitarian Universalist theology. And one of the great gifts that I have of doing prison ministry work is being able to feel so proud of Unitarian Universalist theologies and how radical they are when brought into spaces like prisons and jails, and those spaces which are meant to isolate, to hurt, and to punish people. So it is powerful enough to take in on a stream through a video or to come into the service and on a really tough day to be told that you're worthy of love, to be told that you have more than one chance to keep trying to be that good person you want to be. That is powerful. And even more powerful when it gets inside spaces like jails, detention centers, and prisons, which are designed to cause harm to people. So a theology of compassion requires a deep understanding and faith in a love that is larger than any wall, any barbed wire fence. And usually, we get to come here as UU Prison Ministry of Illinois in July to be with you. And I think a lot has happened this year, right? And yet I think of the activist and poet and altogether amazing human, Adrienne Maree Brown, who says, "We are not surprised." I am reminded how the narratives of prisons and jails that rely on narratives of telling someone that they're less than, telling someone that they are not human, that those narratives are foundational to what has been happening with the disappearing of our neighbors from the streets with ICE. That it is all part of the same system that is designed to disappear people by empire. So there is, unfortunately, nothing new under the sun, and it does not mean that our trans beloveds or that those who feel vulnerable with ICE goons everywhere, that their pain is not even more acute now. But that pain and that oppression has always been here since empire began. In the spring and summer edition of The Abolitionist, which is a newsletter that is written for folks, it goes inside to prisons. It's written by a group called Critical Resistance. They're based out west in Oakland and Bay Area, and they provide working definitions for abolition and the prison industrial complex that we like to talk about in our trainings. You should come. But in that, one of the content providers, who is an incredible abolitionist and who really focuses on educating and working with youth and empowering youth leadership, Mariam Kaba, she says, "Today the prison is not just a site of harm, it's a laboratory for broader systems of authoritarian control, a testing ground for tyranny." So that testing ground has been skyrocketing and becoming more and more successful in its goals to see if tyranny is really possible. Can we disappear and extract people from their communities? Can we criminalize behaviors and put people in cages? That is what we have been seeing for decades, for generations, for some families. And now it is becoming even more powerful. Another note from an incredible article that I read by Andrea Ritchie is the reminder that abolition is still the answer to our times. That if we can imagine a world where we really embody compassionate theology, how can we be with one another differently when we do harm to one another? I think Unitarian Universalist congregations have some skills here, or at least we're trying. Are we covenanted communities who try to not harm each other, but most likely end up doing something to hurt one another and have to find ways to call ourselves in, to be accountable and responsible to one another and to our community? Have you ever had times like that in congregational life where you've had to say, "Hey, that really hurt, what you said, and I love you," or "I care about you, and I care about your well-being, but I need you to know that that hurt"? And to be able to say that with compassion for oneself and understanding that we all deserve to share when we are hurt, and also compassion and respect for the other person who did harm. These are muscles that we in Unitarian Universalist congregations are building all the time. And it is rooted in a compassionate theology that understands that embodying love in the world, making ourselves channels for love, isn't always going to be comfortable, and that it will be difficult, and it will call us into spaces that we never knew we might enter, like Cook County Jail. Like accompanying someone who has tremendous needs when they've gotten out in the vulnerable period of reentry through the work of solidarity circles or just through connection. That how we accompany one another on this life journey, it matters. And in Unitarian Universalism, it's all about the how. And working towards that horizon of the mission and the vision of this congregation, the process of how we do that is just as powerful as reaching the ends in and of itself. In fact, when we do it with love, we end up making and activating transformation within ourselves. And this is the journey of accompanying one another. And this is what we invite in the prison ministry, is new ways of accompanying people who are Unitarian Universalist or Unitarian Universalist adjacent, who want to be in relationship with folks on the outside, who want to know what your life is like, what you're up to every day, how are things going with the kids. These are the letters and texts and phone calls that I get, so that we can begin to share our lives together. And undergirding all of that sharing is a deep faith in the spirit of love that works to transform us and that works on us, with us, and through us. And I want to invite you into that journey. We have one congregation, their youth group, with supervising adults and lots of great boundaries. Their youth group has taken up a pen pal at the Countryside Church. Or we have at the Hinsdale congregation, people who are pen pals, they get themselves together and they meet together in kinship and support for one another. And you could become a pen pal and be supported with the Unitarian Universalist Prison Ministry. Or perhaps be interested in joining up with my coworker, Keith, who will tell you more, probably, about the Literary Bridges Project. Through it all, we are invited into transformation because, as your congregation always reminds us, we are always growing. May we grow towards that spirit of transformation, always with love at the center. Blessed be.
Good morning once more. Good morning. All right. It's always a real treat coming to DuPage. Each community has its own unique characteristics, right? And so, coming to DuPage, there's a level of political education, I think I would be saying, that is unique, you know what I mean? And so it kind of allows you to kind of, put the little fluff to the side and get to the business of having a conversation, right? Because the table has been set already. But I see some of the children and emerging adults still in the room. I came here to take the gloves off. Can I still take the gloves off? All right, take the gloves off. All right. So let's give you a quick update on what we've been doing. Since we've been here last, we have some really great changes happening in the ministry. First and foremost, we started a program called Literary Bridges, all right? And it's a seasonal engagement, only 6 months. We just finished our first cohort. And what we do is we partner outside individuals with inside individuals over a book, right? And so the first book was Active Hope by Joanna Macy. And so we engaged with that book. I met with the outside participants once a month over Zoom, where we processed the book because we were reading it ourselves. And then during the latter half of our engagement on Zoom, we incorporate some of the things that our inside partner may have shared. And we ask that if something stands out, that you kind of extract that, right? And glean some wisdom so that we can amplify it outside of, and that way we take that wisdom that is within the walls and amplify it outside the walls. So anyway, we got our next cohort coming up, and we will be reading Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, right? Right, yeah, right. So you can imagine the engagement with you and someone that is behind the wall, right, in the cage, right, and finding meaning in that, and you finding meaning in the struggles that we have in our everyday life. And so if you want a little more information about that, at your welcome table, there's a flyer, right, with my contact information. We will be starting the new cohort in the fall, so get at me, right? Email me, let me know you're interested. And even if you're just slightly interested, we can, again, give you some additional information to try to lock you in. Also, this is really a treat. We have this educational platform called Edovo, all right? Everyone in prison is given a tablet, right? And on that tablet, they have content. Music, some really great content. I speak with individuals who are incarcerated now, and they tell me all the stuff that's on these tablets. And so we have put in the work, made the necessary connections to be able to place Unitarian content on this tablet, right? And this is huge because, as I spoke to you before, prison is a space that is controlled and predominantly just is all conservative content, right? I mean, it's amazing, right? It's suffocatingly amazing, right? Because it stifles, thought. It stifles a person expanding themselves, and because most people in prison are indigent and don't have the funds to purchase their own material, they are more dependent on organizations granting them or providing them with information, and it's the most conservative organizations that do so from every religious background, right? And so so this is really amazing. We're really excited about this. So that's just an update about what we're have going on. And so we talked about this problem, right? This problem of these carceral spaces being predominantly and exclusively controlled by conservative voices. And that produces intolerance, right? That produces radicalization, And none of those things lead to transformation. All right? Matter of fact, they make our society even more toxic. Right? And so one of the things that compassionate theology, which I had an opportunity to be exposed to, does is that it invests in human beings. And let me back up. When we talk about compassion, there are two types, right? There's the compassion that relieves suffering, right? That's in the moment. I'm sharing to relieve someone's suffering, but that doesn't mean that suffering stops, or it doesn't cut off the things that lead to that suffering. And then there's compassion that's an investment. Right? And so, which has a return on investment, right? But that type of investment has all the principles of investment to it. It has risk. It may not work, right? Right? It's uncomfortable. It takes sacrifice. And so our programming is asking you to invest, right? We're not trying to relieve suffering, right? We're trying to cut it off from its roots. We're trying to transform individuals so we can change institutions. And that's what we're doing at UPMI. And this is what we ask you to volunteer and be a part of. And I can say from personal experience, now, and I'll close with this. I've told my story here before, but I see there's a lot more individuals here. I've been to the prison 4 times. I'm 58. I probably spent 30 years of my adult life confined. Yeah. I was given a UU World, a magazine, and this is the hit. This is what a UU presence in a carceral setting does. I was given a UU World through an improbable conversation with a white gay Buddhist. Now, if you know prison is racially segregated, right? It's religiously conservative, and I won't talk about the homophobic, the intense homophobic sentiment is in it. So this improbable conversation I had with a white gay Buddhist, and she, because her name is Shay, and she has transitioned since that time, she posited a UU World to me. And I remember looking at it, you know, and I saw the usual verbiage, Reverend, church, and so, yeah, that went on the shelf, right? Right, you know, because I immediately put it in that category, right? She rerounded on me and asked me again, did I read it? So I gave it a read, and I was immediately intrigued. Who are these people, right? They was having this brave conversation about white supremacy and the various tentacles it is in society. And so I signed up for their Pen Pal program through Church of the Larger Fellowship. UPMI came along and they channeled me into that. I was given 2 Pen Pals. You know, I was, riches, right? I had 2 Pen Pals. Our relationship has blossomed to family of choice now, right? In that process, I engaged in a Literary Bridges-like book project. It was a book praxis over the book by Miriam Kaba, We Do This Until We Free Us. And I was introduced to prison abolition. I was introduced to a political consciousness that I never had before. Upon my release, I became activated. All right, I started my own non-for-profit. I work in reentry as a coordinator, a reentry program at a non-for-profit. I started my own non-for-profit rooted in narrative justice. But none of that would have happened had I not been exposed, right, to those values contained in that UU World. And so what I want to tell you and share with you, the importance of the Edovo Book Project and the importance of literary bridges and the importance of the Pen Pal program, we get an opportunity to broaden individuals' perspectives, help facilitate their transformation. We get to liberate them from that internal cage. I was on a path of radicalization. And through my exposure to UU values, I didn't come home ready to light a chalice, right? I didn't become a Unitarian, but it allowed me to see those values in my own tradition. They were already there. I was just being pointed to something else because that was the content I was digesting. So, if we really want to build the world that we want to build, we have to change institutions. And you change institutions by changing people. And pound for pound, and I'll close with this, the best and the greatest rate of return on investing in people who can be activated to change institutions and change society is investing in individuals who have had a carceral experience. Why? Because I and others have traversed the entire spectrum of harm, healing, hope, transformation, and activation. Only that population can speak to that in a very intimate way. So if there's going to be an investment, if we really want to change society, if we really want to change institutions, we have to help individuals transform, and pound for pound, our program is their best investment. So if you really want to talk about this some more, we'll be here July the 25th. We have our annual cookout here on your campus. Come out and have some fun, eat some food, have some conversation, and we can talk more deeply. We also put a sign-up sheet at the welcome desk, right? If you feel compelled to get engaged, right, and make that investment. We're not talking about charity. We're talking about some investment. We have to step into transformation. That list, that contact, for your contact information is up front. If you're just even thinking about it, we can put you in contact with our Pen Pal coordinator, and she can help, help you navigate or resolve any questions you may have. But either way, I enjoy coming to DuPage. I look forward to speaking with you guys after the service, and have an amazing day, guys. All right.
Beloveds, go forth, grounded in love, ready to invest in transformation.
And may we do the difficult and hard work that comes with investing. so that we can have the return of the world that we desire.
Amen.
Amen. That's it.
You can walk to the back.
Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish the light of this chalice, but not the light in our hearts. Until we meet again, may the warmth of our community carry